Bills offense, how to attack this Miami Dolphins defense. You had a really good point, and I'll let you lead with this play here.
Oh, sure.
Attacking the interior of the Dolphins defense, really attacking them in the middle from a back seven perspective. This team has studs. Again, like we mentioned up front, Christian Wilkins is very good. Sealer is having a tremendous year. Phillips, even Melvin Ingram, Chubb. I think you legitimately have one of the best safeties in football on the back end in Javon Holland. I know their other safety has been a roving position in terms of guys being banged up. Eric Rowe should be back, though. You've got Xavier Howard. The other corner is a bit of a weak spot. But the linebackers, they're aggressive, they're fast-flowing, but they're not a tremendous group. That's a group where you can start to pinpoint and attack. That's not necessarily what happens on this play, but it ties into attacking the Dolphins in the middle of the field, whether with play action or concept, to really attack a potential vulnerability in this defense.
Yeah, for really the past like 2-3 years, it's been Jerome Baker and another guy, and that other guy is usually a Landon Roberts, and he's more of a thumper. He's not really a pass coverage guy. He is from that New England tree, and he's someone who just plays the run really well and fits the run really well. But I've always, for the past 3 years, felt like you can attack the middle of the field against the Dolphins, and that to me screams a lot of Dawson Knox and Cole Beasley, maybe Isaiah McKenzie. Depends on the concepts you're running. But here you get this deep over with the Dino post from Gabe Davis. And I really love this concept because of how it clears out. I think that's Xavier Howard on the bottom side of the screen, but it clears him out of the play. And you can see there's a clear defined second level that Dawson Knox just has to get behind and then essentially continue sneaking behind as he travels upfield. And he does it very well. But then the second level to this play, or the second idea to this play, is what happens when Josh Allen starts his throwing mechanism, because it freezes Jerome Baker. When Josh Allen starts his throwing mechanism, Jerome Baker freezes. He doesn't continue getting depth as he once was. He stops because of Devin Singletary right in front of him and how much the Bills have put on tape that they're willing to take that check down option. And they have to legitimately respect that. And if you look at it, you can see Motor is pretty much in the same passing window as Knox at this moment in time. So it's really tough for Baker to tell which option he's going to. But
this
because
also
Baker
happened to
stops
Tremaine
here,
Edmonds.
it opens that window. Exactly.
Yes, against New England, where when they were checking it down to Stevenson, sorry, I got excited, and they kept checking it down to Stevenson, Kendrick Bourne has that deep dig for like 20 yards, but it's because Edmonds, it's the same thing. He's caught in between Bourne and Stevenson just had like 2 completions on play action checkdowns for big gains, so he honors it and it goes over your head. Sorry, continue.
Exactly. You see something on tape enough, and especially when recency bias for Edmonds' case, it happens literally the 2 plays before. You're like, okay, they keep dumping it off. I gotta respect this. I got to start cheating this direction a little bit harder. But you do that, you open up a window somewhere else. And that's not necessarily why Josh Allen threw this football, but it's why that window was even larger. You could tell Josh was always going to Knox here because of the concept, because of the opening on that side of the field with Gabe Davis clearing it out. But this kind of goes to show how many options there really are on this play, because both Singletary was open in the check down, but also Gilliam on the chip flat on the other side. He had tons of space. So I really do love this concept in particular. There were a lot of options for Josh Allen, and I usually get on him for being too greedy and not taking the check down, but this was a wide open play. You take Gilliam and Motor here, fine. You keep the chains moving, you're ahead of schedule probably, but Knox is the right read here.
They did a good job with these intermediate routes paired with a clearing route, whether it was Yankee, whether it was with sale concepts in this game, which we're going to show another one later. Like, this is a good play design. It's a good concept. It's a good play call. And so that Yankee concept is a combination of, you're going to get a deep over from one side paired with a post from the other side. And like Kendall said, this one is a Dino post, which basically just means like you fake the corner and then go to the post.
But that also freezes the corner a little bit longer, so it kind of makes him bite on the post action even harder and clears him out faster.
Very true. And I love this play because of the execution and design, but it also highlights some of the cool stuff Miami does on defense. I know it doesn't work, but this is a cover 2 play from the Dolphins, but your deep half safety is Xavier Howard, who is your outside corner on this play. And your cloud corner is Van Ginkel here, who's dropping underneath. But on the other side, you have a typical corner who's in that cover 2 look on that side. So it's a nice little wrinkle. But again, what you've got from Gabe Davis, Howard has to honor this piece from Davis. So no matter what Davis does, if Davis stays vertical, if he doesn't even do the Dino action here and just stays on a regular post,
Either way, he's got to carry.
Correct. Howard's got to carry him. He's got to take him unless he makes an amazing play and diagnoses this and decides he's going to sit here and he's going to jump that route from Knox. But the odds of that happening are
you'd have to short. Communicate the pass off to the other safety and just commit.
Or you have to know I'm Ed Reed and I've studied this a million times. I know this is happening. Boom, I'm doing this. But exactly to your point, because the second level, even here, so Gilliam's leaking out. Van Ginkel has to honor him. Baker is put into conflict and he recognizes the check down option. So both of them sit on those underneath routes, and that allows Knox to get that separation in a hurry. And then once he gets the ball in his hands, we get some of that juggernaut action.
Yeah.
Which is really what you want to see. But
this is the value of taking the checkdowns. It opens up windows everywhere else. It pays it forward to future Josh Allen in a sense. It's like, all right, cool. I have to eat this. I'll take the 4 or 5 yards on this play, but maybe future Josh Allen can benefit from this.
But that's exactly what it is. You're tying everything together. Taking a check down on a play action pass early, it gets you 4 yards. And maybe you think oh, that 4 yards sucks. Now it's only 2nd and 6. But you doing that once, or especially probably a couple more times, that leads you to having the opportunity created of being able to take that dig or that intermediate route later for 15 or 20 or 25, because you planted that seed in their head of underneath. And now all of a sudden you start to create that separation between the second level and third level. You create that spot where the second level has to come up to honor the short, and now the intermediate is open behind them. The same thing with the opposite. If you're hitting teams deep and over their head, and they're bailing, they won't respect the check down. Or maybe it makes them vulnerable, and now you're running bubble screens and tunnel screens because you snap the ball and they got to bail out quickly. Again, same thing with the check down piece. We saw it last year in New England. We talk about this all the time. Hightower and Bentley were honoring that deep piece from Allen. Yeah. So on the snap, they'd almost turn their backs completely and bail. And so Allen would hit his drop and not even process deep. He would just immediately check it down to Singletary, who had 12 yards of space. And it's an easy 8 to 10 yards there because you have so much piece. You continue to make defenses wrong no matter what. You continue to put them in binds and in lose-lose situations. And that's a great piece. That's why you want to see Josh Allen take the check down. It's not just to stay on schedule and get yards when you can. It's partially that, but it's because of what it leads to later, which is also something Ken Dorsey talks about a lot. His idea of making sure the players understand, it's the first quarter and the third drive, and we're going to call this play. And it's not just because we're calling it because we think it'll work now.
Be successful right now, but what it does for us in the future, because later in this game or even later in the season.
Correct. There is some sort of bigger picture
to every
with what
decision.
is happening. That's part of what makes the chess match of football so beautiful. That's a very good call out on this one. All right, let's go to the next play here. What's nice with some of these are me, Eric, and I use some of these for the film room, so I didn't have to draw up everything. So
nice.
That first one I did.
Glad I picked good plays.
Yeah, right. Don't get too great.
All right, I'm out.
Missed another check.
That's another check.
Myself out. Bye, guys. So this is a nice piece. This is that 3rd and 17 where Josh finds Gabe Davis for that 21-yard gain on 3rd down, and this is just it's labeled here. Gabe Davis just finds the soft spot in that zone. And you see Miami playing basically an ultra cover 3, prevent piece here.
Cover 3. This is 3rd and 17.
Yep. And then you see Gabe Davis right there, and Josh gets time. I also love from this piece too. I'm going to rewind it really quick. I love how Josh, actually, I'm going to go to the end zone angle. I love how Josh kind of manipulates the pocket by moving to his right a little bit just to kind of reestablish. So he sees the pressure inside on Van Roten. So he manipulates and goes to the right a bit to help. It's almost like a running back setting up a block.
So he can step into his throw to the left.
Exactly. He manipulates that defender, sets him up that way, and then comes back to it and just
changes his drop angle.
just a bullet. Really good
Yeah,
pocket manipulation from Allen.
I never
But
noticed that.
again, where's this pass coming? Around the hash marks, around that interior of the field where the Dolphins have shown vulnerability, to your point.
Little nugget on this. I really love that Davis decided to throttle down at so this is 3rd and 17. He throttled down around 19 yards and didn't truly curl it
So
up
that way,
until
when he comes back, he's still
21.
ahead of the
So he
sticks.
can work back to the football and still at that catch point, he's still past the sticks.
Gabe Davis sucks, though. That's what everybody says.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's terrible. He drops passes all the time.
Yeah.
It's who said it earlier? Creates good shows.
It's just true. Yeah.
Yeah, these talking points, it just creates good talking points, good shows, a lot of emotion. Gabe Davis is still sufficient. I don't know if he's wide receiver 2, but he's sufficient.
I think that's fair. I think it's fair to recognize some of the positives that he's done while also recognizing that he has had some underwhelming spells and performances.
I just realized this. I think I've been an advocate for sufficiency. That's always what I'm pushing for. It's not like I'm always fighting against the people saying someone's trash to prove someone's just sufficient. Not that they're good, that they're sufficient.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
I find myself doing it a lot.
That's also a realistic nature of football. You're not going to have studs everywhere. You're
as much as you want to, and you want things to be like Madden.
Correct. At some positions, sufficiency. Now, if you are, no disrespect,
sufficient everywhere.
Correct. If you are the Houston Texans, sufficiency is not good enough because you don't have the studs. But if you have good players or good groupings or good units, you fill that in with sufficiency, right? No team has a whole bunch of A pluses and A minuses and A's. You need a bunch of B's. But if your whole team is B's, you're not going anywhere. But if you got a bunch of B's that are paired with a bunch of B pluses and A's, all of a sudden, this team becomes a lot better.
Right.
And you had another good gain on that play. Now we're going to go a little deeper into the game here. We're going to go into the third quarter. Play to Dawson Knox. This is what I mentioned earlier. This one, we get the sail concept. So we get the vertical route from Stephon Diggs up top. We're going to get the flat route from Reggie Gilliam out of the backfield. And then we're going to get the intermediate net sail route from Dawson Knox running this little out/corner piece right here. Again, we're going to get that under center play action piece, similar to what we got on the very first play that we let off with the Yankee concept for Dawson Knox. And again, another piece of putting the Dolphins' second level into conflict. This time we get some really nice elusiveness in the pocket from Josh Allen. Dawkins gets beat.
No, it's Saffold. Saffold absolutely whiffs. And this is what I noticed. Saffold whiffs off the snap, and Ingram isn't rushing, so Dawkins is then able to recover for Saffold.
You know what's nice on this? Well, not nice. So Saffold takes a super aggressive set on this one. I was thinking of a different play in my brain to try and get Sealer. He did this earlier in the game, and it worked out perfectly. He got on Sealer right away, and Sealer didn't even get past the line of scrimmage. And he tries it again, but this time Sealer is ready and is like, psych, and just gets in there right away. But regardless, you get nice pocket movement from Josh Allen.
Yeah, Dawkins does enough.
Does just enough. And then you get a nice little drop in the bucket. But again, wide open because of the conflict you've created at the second level. And now Baker has to honor Gilliam. You got the clear out route from Diggs, and you have another wide open Dawson Knox in the intermediate part of the field against the Dolphins. All right, so now
I love this play, by the way.
Another piece, yes.
Really
we talked about this mid-zone run. We talked earlier about James Cook and how much we like him and how he's progressed over the year. This is the Bills leaning into James Cook, and you have a 2nd and 8, and you have a gain of 16 on here. This is the piece you want to continue to see if you are going to get these looks where, and this isn't even a super advantageous look. You basically got 7 in the box here, depending on how you want to classify this defender. But I would say it's 7 in the box. You just take that mid-zone run to the weak side. And you know what else I love too? Look at, again, Roberts. Watch him on, or maybe it's Baker. It's Baker. Oh, the sleeves are driving me nuts. Also, because I thought this was a 5.
Baker has a towel.
Oh, good call. So
literally my job to do this.
No, wait. So then, no, this guy has the towel, and that's not Baker.
Oh, who is that? That's not Roberts.
That's why I said I saw the 5, and I was like, oh, so that has to be a 2. I couldn't see. Regardless, it's not important. They run that mid zone to the weak side. watch Baker the whole time. He's not even honoring the run action, and it allows Saffold to climb right to him.
Yeah, right to him.
And it's just space on space, and then you get a nice setup from Cook. This is a huge piece for me. Watch Cook here, because Baker tries to cut this off. Saffold gets a push. Watch Cook. He cuts in between Baker and Saffold. Whoop. That's smooth, man. That's silky. To have that fluidity, to be able to flow like water in between the block, in between the blocker and the defender. Oh, that's pretty. That's real pretty.
I really enjoyed the setup to this play in terms of just from the scheme of it all and where everyone is aligned in terms of formation. Like, you have the wide bunch on the bottom side of the screen, right? And that completely takes the nickel cornerback out of the run fit. But then on top of that, you have the RPO action on the top side of the screen. So that safety on the top side of the box is then respecting Dawson Knox on the flat route because of the RPO action. And then it's really just 6 guys fitting the run. At that point, you have the 2 linebackers and the 4 guys on the line. So at that point, you think you have technically just a hat on a hat, right? Because you have your 5 offensive linemen and you have James Cook, who's taking the extra guy. He's got to make one man miss. But the Mike linebacker in this situation is watching the mesh point because he has to respect Josh Allen's legs. Once James Cook gets the football, and this is where James Cook kind of takes the cake over Devin Singletary, the way he changes angles, and because the Mike linebacker doesn't make a decision because he has to respect Josh Allen's legs, he takes a bad angle because he's already late on his read and tries to get to James Cook, but James Cook busts that angle completely and gets upfield for 16. So I loved how it's set up formationally, trying to find your numbers advantage by just utilizing a bunch of things, like a wide bunch on the left side of your screen with the right side of the formation having an RPO concept, and then also the read option where you just have to respect Josh Allen's legs at all times. So it's amazing how much this offense can really complement one another in every facet if you incorporate enough things.
That's Duke Riley.
Duke Riley.
Just hit me. Yep. Duke Riley.
That is exactly who it is.
And this is, to your point, this is the difference between Cook and Singletary, to have the juice to make his hesitation to make him pay for it. Watch. Yeah. He hesitates just too much. Boom. Let's go again. Slow-mo here. Watch Duke Riley, who we highlighted, number 45. Look at, he's sitting. He's sitting. He's sitting. The ball is in with Cook. He's sitting. He's still sitting. So now he's about 1.5 yards behind from this distance perspective of where Cook is.
But then he also takes an angle forward. Correct. Just like a step forward.
Which is a problem. Which is a problem when someone has that speed that can change angles. Exactly. So yeah, now, so he's already hesitated. Now look where his next step is. To your point, boom. He takes that little bit, he comes this way, and then he flattens. So at this point,
he gets wide,
it's a different story. But Cook has that speed that makes that false step. And this is where speed and athleticism and juice comes into play, because you don't have to beat a dude by 5 yards. When you have legit burst in speed and real juice, all it takes is a half step. One step in the wrong direction for a half a second or a quarter of a second. That can be the difference between making a play and getting a shoulder or a chest on a guy versus only getting an arm or half of an arm. And that's
another thing. If with a guy with that kind of speed, you talk about offensive speed to power. If you're just getting an arm on a guy with this much speed and that much momentum cooking, that arm tackle's doing even less.
Correct. And he's just not able to get there because Cook's speed changes the angle and takes advantage of, he makes you pay. He punishes you for false steps or false reads. That's a huge piece. Go with the touchdown here. To Dawson Knox, again, attacking the middle of the field. This one's real nice, just the ability of Dawson Knox. Right here.
Be a quick one, but it's nice.
Yeah, to his ability to uncover as he gets to the end zone. Lies a little bit. You see him looking this way like, oh, I'm going to go over here. And the defender's like, yeah. And he's like, psych.
Yeah.
And just look at this.
It's just really nice stem. Really great body language. And
look at the separation at the break, how he snaps this off. Look how much separation. Again, like, here we go. This is close. Like, they're together. He's using physicality. Look how close they are. And then bang. Look at the separation that he creates here, and then it increases as he comes out of it. By NFL standards, that's wide the hell open.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Gorgeous.
Big
Real
time.
nice.
And Josh knew it right off rip. He knew that he had his man. He was looking at Knox the whole way.
Yeah, that's the read that he wanted. That's the man that he wanted. Again, Dawson Knox take advantage in that interior
Physical
in
matchup.
that middle.
That's what's wild though, because that was a physical outmatching by Knox, but he beat him with finesse.
Yes. Oh, very well said. Nothing crazy on this one. This is just
another quick one.
This throw
is this Eric's note?
Yes.
I mean, it's
and I didn't want to change it. Yeah, that's what it's funny too, because this is what his note was. And I also tweeted this play in saying the same thing. Like, oh, actually, yeah. So, because I tweeted this play and some dude came at me because I said, like, this isn't a normal throw.
No,
like,
this is not
far
normal.
hash to the sideline, in the snow, in the wind, over. You have to layer it over and underneath defender. And some dude came at me and was like, literally every quarterback in the league can make this throw. And I was like,
maybe like
what?
5 to 6 other quarterbacks.
Yeah, I was like, there's maybe like 7 total, if that. But watch what you're going to get here. You're going to get this underneath defender. And just, again, the distance. Josh Allen is far hash to the sideline. You have a defender sinking underneath this route. It's windy. It's snowy. Doesn't matter.
It's kind of flat-footed too. Doesn't really step into it all that much. Like,
he bounces it. Just that's not normal.
It's not normal.
That's hard.
It's not much. I saw this play and I was just like, this has to go in. People have to respect this. And
respect the
full circle.
Capri Sun play.
I was just gonna say this goes full circle because this goes back to whoever commented we're spoiled, Bills fans. As
good
Bills
call,
fans.
yeah.
Like, I mean, let's be honest. We're spoiled. We're spoiled by the stuff that we see.
This throw, even if this defender's not here, like this still isn't like it makes it easier.
Just to beat the corner, just to have the velocity to beat the corner on closing speed alone. Like you have to have some arm talent to get it there before he breaks.
This is what 20. He's at the goal line, maybe 20, a little yard behind. So this is like 21 yards downfield, just downfield. This isn't taking the hypotenuse into the equation in terms of the diagonal. But not only so you have to put it with enough force to get it there and not allow the corner to make a play, but you have to layer it over this defender. So you have to put touch on it while driving it, in addition to having to drive it through the wind and the snow.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous.
Wild.
Just crazy.
This is my favorite package in this film piece that we're going to break down.
Yeah, you can talk on this. I know you were
Coach Chapman, awesome. Tons of great comments from you tonight. One, thank you very much for being here. Hope you dropped a like as well. But 2, awesome comments all night. And thank you very much for the donation in the super chat. That's awesome. Coach Chapman says, Ant, Kendall, and Cover One, increasing the Mafia's football IQ one video at a time. Great job, guys. Ant is the Batman to Kendall's Robin. That's a pretty cool combo. Awesome. Thank you very much. I still think you're not good enough to be Robin.
I was waiting for you to pull something out. I don't even know if he's Robin.
I laughed so hard my headphone came out.
This guy's like the Penguin or something.
I heard you go silent, and I was like, he knows. He knows I'm going to say something.
I was trying to give you airspace.
I know. I appreciate you. Well done. Well done. So this is Dart. Eric has talked about it a bunch. I've talked about it a bunch. You've talked about it as well. Dart is basically a tackle wrap play. So I've got it highlighted here. Deion Dawkins is the one who's coming across. What the Bills will do based on the defensive front they're seeing, what we're going to get in this instance, you'll have Spencer Brown down block and Dawkins is going to wrap and go around Brown. But what you can also get, and we saw this against the Bears, based on the front, this tackle might go out and then you'll get that pulling tackle will come inside between the guard and tackle.
A kick and a pull through, essentially.
Correct. But the Bills have leaned on this play all year. What's nice is when it came in this game, so this is the fourth quarter, this is that game-winning drive that the Bills kept the ball from the goal line, starting with that throw that we just showed to Gabe Davis. They ran this play literally 3 times in a row, just side to side.
Just flipped it each time.
Correct.
Just went back and forth.
The first time it was 1st and 10, they ran it for 8. The second time it was 2nd and 2, they ran it for 7. The third time it was 1st and 10, they ran it for 4. And this helped them generate success against this Dolphins defense. And you're just going to see the physicality. You're going to see the execution. I've got everybody's blocks highlighted from this angle, but we'll show it from the sideline first. You'll watch, there goes Dawkins. And watch the physicality with Dawkins. Oh, it just meets his man and Singletary gets through. Singletary is a much better gap runner than he is zone runner. He's able to fit right off. I also really like, this is where the athleticism of Spencer Brown comes in at the right tackle piece right there. Watch him get to, so he helps on the end right there. Boom, a little push down to help Quisenberry be able to seal
seals
this.
that guy.
And then he climbs to the second level. Boom.
Seals the next guy.
Nice. And Singletary with a good physical run goes through his man, contact balance. This is the Dolphins defense needed stops. And this is the Bills imposing their will physically and taking their soul. And it's 3 plays in a row and just beautiful.
And that's really what it is taking their soul when it's like, yeah, we're just going to keep spamming this play. You know, that guy that you play in Madden who keeps running the same play over and over and over.
And I just hot route off of it and I make you
that's
want
Ant
to just...
and Ken Dorsey in this 3 plays.
There you go.
I mean, if it works, yeah, don't break it. So yeah, you see, I mean, you broke
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, that's the...
If it works, don't break it. That's the new one. I like that.
Did I say that?
That's what you said. If it works, don't break it. If it works, don't break it.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't.
I know. It's technically right.
We try our hardest here.
We do. We try hard. So same thing again. This is literally the very next play. Same exact action. You're going to get the double team block here. You're going to get the pulling tackle. This time it's Spencer Brown wrapping around on the dart action. Boom. Get yards.
Just get that kick out block and you go straight through it.
And this again is the credit to Singletary. Again, I like the action. Here comes Brown. Chubb is on the edge. He gets too far upfield. Boom. So you have the hole. Watch where Singletary gets hit. Nope. Just keeps on trucking. First down. 7 yards on 2nd and 2. But again, from that same action, similar front as the play before that we just showed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chubb makes 5 on the line. That was the first play. What do we got here? This time we have more of a traditional bear front look. You got the center covered up, and you've got the 2, 3 techs there. Technically, if you want to go try and call this one a 4-eye or whatever, but then you've got the safety down here. The other edge, this is more of a traditional bear front, but a similar look in terms of an odd front and who you have covered up and where the advantage is. And then you don't give a crap about what's going on over here because you're going over this way.
Right.
And well executed again. Bang. And good run from Singletary. And then again, it's the third one here. Might look like the same thing. Literally just left, right, left, and you flip it. And again, we get good execution from Spencer Brown, from Quessenberry, Dawkins again. Just imposing your will. Again from Spencer Brown. Watch Spencer Brown help out.
Combo block.
Boom. Christian Wilkins get knocked inside. Quessenberry wins. And then Brown picks up his man. Dawkins buries Phillips.
Singletary breaks through the arm tackle of Wilkins. Yep.
Imposing your will. Watch the physicality here on the edge from Dawkins. Bang. You can see the reverberation through Phillips's body coming off that edge. Oh.
Yeah. That kick out block is always so physical from Dawkins.
You see the reverberation. It makes me think of when you're in the batting cages and you hit the ball in the wrong spot on the bat and it just goes all the way through the shoulder. This is good.
My one bit of curiosity on these plays, Dawson Knox is split so much further off of the tackle than Quentin Morris is on the first and third plays. I believe Knox is the tight end. And then on the second one, I think, Morris is tighter to the offensive tackle. This is the first one. That's the first one. So check Knox on the second one. His split is a little bit wider. And then on the third play, it's even wider than that. So I'm curious what the wrinkle is to that. Maybe it's an RPO flat to the backside.
I thought of that. You're setting up the opportunity for if you want to make this, if there's a pass tag
faster.
Yeah. If there's a pass tag tied to it, pass tag tied to it. It's a fair question. Yeah. Cause Morris isn't on the first.
That wouldn't help blocking if you're setting him out wider to the weak side of the
This
play.
is the second one. And maybe he's just selling and we know he does a good job, but watch Knox, from a body language perspective, it looks like he's running a real route.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So maybe there is pass tags attached to it. Well done.
Yeah, maybe.
Good job, Robin. I was gonna say Penguin. Damn it. Oh, awesome. Thank you very much, John. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
John has been super awesome all night, just being here and your comments, and also telling people to drop the like. And also, no, you shouted out the tree a whole bunch. I appreciate you shouting out the love for my two trees.
Never goes unnoticed.
Yeah, very good, very good. Oh, and Roy was hopping out saying it. Roy said I missed the super chat. I think this is the super chat you mentioned. I'm in the film, man. It's hard to tell. But yeah, thank you very much, John, for the super chat, for being here, the kind words. Very nice. Very nice.